Yah's name is gone. We are the mighty Yehudim. Lions of Yah, praise Yah with me. The righteous, Yah, the holy, Yah, the creator, Yah, the only, Yah, the righteous, Yah, the holy, Yah, the creator, Yah, the only, Yah. He is our King, our Savior, and our Judge, Yehudim. Yahweh is righteous. He is our King, our Savior, and our Judge, Yehudim. Yahweh is righteous. It's gonna be a new day. It's gonna be a new way. You must think that you're our King, Yehudim, for tribe and team. It's gonna be a new day. It's the beginning of a new way. You could never be our King, Yehudim. Rep Yah with me. It's the dawn of 400 years, 400 years since you stole our names, 400 years since Willie Lynch made the slaves, 400 years and we still remain, 400 years of living with Cain, 400 years and we still a slave, slaving on the job, slaving on the block, slaving in the jail and in our hearts. We are the mighty Yehudim. Lions of Yah, praise Yah with me. The righteous, Yah, the holy, Yah, the creator, Yah, the only, Yah, the righteous, Yah, the holy, Yah, the creator, Yah, the only. He is our King, our Savior, and our Judge, Yehudim. Yahweh is righteous. It's gonna be a new day. It's gonna be a new way. You must think that you're our King, Yehudim, for tribe and team. It's gonna be a new day. It's the beginning of a new way. You could never be our King, Yehudim. Rep Yah with me. Oh, you could never be my King.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise and honor to the Holy One of Israel, to the Creator of the heaven, the earth, the sea, and all that is therein is, by saying hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. Yah is righteous. Yah is holy. Let Yahweh be magnified. Once again, the Creator has allowed us to come before you another day, bringing to you his great, holy, and exalted words, even the words of truth. My name is Moreh Ishaya Yisrael of the House of Israel, located right here in Cincinnati, Ohio, 2330 Kemper Lane, bringing to you nothing but the truth. And yes, it is true. All we're going to do is tell you the truth, for Yah ordained me to tell you the truth, and this is what I'm going to do. And who is this Yah? Yah is the creator of the heaven, the earth, the sea, and all that is therein is. Yah, is the Elohim of our fathers, the Elohim of Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yisrael, whom you may know as Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yah is our king. He's our judge. He's our lawgiver. And Yah is our only Savior. And not just of Israel. Yah is the Savior of the world. And we praise the mighty Yah for another great, glorious, special opportunity to come before you with his great, holy, and exalted words. This week, we will be dealing with the book of the law. Little do people know, they don't know how important the law of Yahweh is, nor do they know the book of the law, what it really represents, in various details of the law, because they are accustomed to learning the various precepts of men. But what we're going to do this week, we're going to give you some insights that you're not hearing from anyone else, that you won't hear from anyone else, and that other people are not teaching you. So it's going to be a good special week to deal with the laws of the Most High. The book of the law. The Almighty tells us how important the book of the law is. And let us read something in the book of the law, in the book of Deuteronomy. And we're going to read just want you to see a couple things right before we get into our presentation. All right, I want you to see this. The first thing I want you to see is in the book of Deuteronomy, the 30th chapter. In the book of Deuteronomy 30, and this is what it says. We're going to start reading. Tenth verse. This is what it says. If you shall listen or hearken to the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which are written in this book of the law. And if you turn unto Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart, with all your soul, for this commandment which I command you this day, it is not hidden from you, neither is it far off. It is not in heaven, that you should say, who shall go up for us to heaven and to bring it to us, that we may hear it and do it. Neither is it beyond the sea, that you should say, who shall go over the sea for us and bring it to us, that we may hear it and do it. But the word is very near to you, in your mouth, in your heart, that you may do it. See, and how do you get this word? From the book of the law. See, I have set before you this day life and good, death and evil, in that I command you this day to love Yahweh your Elohim, to walk in his ways, to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that you may live and multiply. And Yahweh your Elohim shall bless you in the land whether you go to possess it. But if your heart turns away, so that you will not hear, but will be drawn away and worship other idols, deities, and serve them, I announce unto you this day that you shall surely perish, that you shall not prolong your days upon the land where you pass over the Jordan to go to possess it. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I've set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both you and your seed may live. And this is what Yahweh wants you to do. And it's totally impossible to do this without knowing the book of the law. Watch what it says in the book of Deuteronomy 31. Just another example. The importance of the law. 23rd verse, we'll start at 22. Moshe therefore wrote this song the same day and told it to the children of Israel. And he gave Joshua, the son of Nun, a charge, and said, be strong and of good courage, for you shall bring the children of Israel into the land which I swore unto them, and I will be with you. And it shall come to pass, when Moshe had made an end of writing the words of this law in a book until they were finished, that Moshe commanded the Levites, which bore the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, saying, take this book of the law, put it in the side of the ark of the covenant of Yahweh your Elohim, that it may be therefore a witness against you. For I know your rebellion, your stiff neck. Behold, while I am yet alive with you this day, you have been rebellious against Yahweh, and how much more after my death. So even Moses knew. Moses knew how important this law was. The law was a witness against our people in the last days. And it's still a witness against us this day. But as I stated before, most people don't know the book of the law and haven't been introduced to the book of the law in a manner in which we will introduce it to you all. We're currently in just about completed. We just need to print the various copies of a study guide of the book of the law. And it's very necessary and very important for everyone to get the meat of the law, the essence of the law. The scriptures say wisdom is the principal thing, but with all thy getting, get understanding. And to understand the laws of the Most High, the creator of the universe, one first must know him, and secondly, one must learn about the one who Yahweh chose to bring you the law. Without knowing these things, then how can you really know the law of the Most High? In other words, you're just reading a bunch of words. You trying to understand a lot of words without understanding the essence of these words, who these words represent, where the mouth that these words came out of. Just imagine, you can have a person that can tell you something because the way they said it, you would accept it. It will be acceptable to you. And then you can have a different type of person with a whole nother type of spirit can say the same exact words, but you won't accept it. And why? Because the words follow who speaks them. In other words, if you got a tyrant telling you to do things, if you got a wicked person telling you to do something, and the words that he's saying is good, but he's wicked, he's a tyrant, don't have your best interest, chances are you won't even accept it. But then you can have somebody that is good, that is pleasant, that has your best interest, chances are you might listen to that person. So how can we understand these words without knowing and understanding the mouth that actually spoke them and the one who actually delivered them? This is where we're going to start in the book of the law. All through the scriptures, even all the way to the last book of the Old Testament. And you might as well forget the New Testament and any other book, because Yahweh never spoke in any other book. The Creator has not endorsed any other book except for his book. And there's only two names that he gave to his book. You will read 3 different names, but he only gave 2. The 2 names he gave, one, and I might have to add one more. Let me show you the names of the word of Yahweh. One is in the book of Isaiah 34. And watch what it says. Isaiah 34 and 16. And this is what it says. Isaiah 34 and 16. See you out of the book of Yahweh and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate. For my mouth it has commanded, and his spirit it has gathered them. So as we can see, one of the books, one of the names of the word of Yahweh is the book of Yahweh. You read in the book of Daniel, where this same book was called the Scriptures of Truth. The Scriptures of Truth. We just read in the book of Deuteronomy, the 31st chapter, as well as the 30th chapter, it was called the book of the law. And then the 4th thing I've seen it called is in the book of Malachi. And let us turn there. In the book of Malachi, the 4th chapter, this is what it says in the 4th verse. Remember you the law of Moshe my servant, which I commanded to him in Horeb, for all Israel, with the statutes and judgments. Remember the law of Moses. In other words, that's the other name in which you will see this book is called the law of Moses. And Moses wrote 5 different books. The 5 different books was from Genesis to Deuteronomy. And I'm going to show you how important these books are the essence of the laws of the Most High? And you might ask yourself, well, how do you know the essence of the laws of the Most High? That's because I know the Most High. And I'm going to show you who the Most High is. But not only do I know the Most High, but I know the one who brought us the law. And his name was Moses, or Moshe. And how can you know the law without knowing these two? One spoke out of his mouth, and the other brought it to us. And all through the scriptures, the various prophets, other prophets other than Moses, they knew this Moshe, but they also knew Yahweh. And as I said, all week long, we're just going to teach you the essence of the law, things that you probably had never seen, never known, and you're not going to hear nowhere else. I can assure you of that. Watch what it lets us know in the book of Micah 6. And why is it called the law of Moses? Have anyone ever told you that? Is it because he the one that brought us the law? Or is it something that he represent that enabled the law even to be called after his name? In the book of Micah, the 6th chapter, starting at the 3rd verse, O my people, what have I done to you? And wherein have I wearied you? Testify against me. What did Yahweh do so bad, so worrisome? You know, you got children and you got people, they worrisome. They worry you to death. They just want to know this and they want to know that, or they asking for this and asking for that. But they just worry you to death. But how has Yahweh worried us? Wearied us? What did he do? Is he waking you all up night, coming to you in visions and dreams? Is that how he worried you? Did he give you the charge that he gave the other prophets, that he gave Moses to go out and speak to a rebellious and stiff-necked people? No, Yahweh didn't do none of that. Watch what it says. Or did he just give you some laws that you really don't understand? You say, oh, this law too hard. How can we do this? How can we do that? Watch what it says. 4th verse. For I brought you up out of the land of Egypt. That's what Yahweh did. And redeemed you out of the house of servants. That's what Yahweh did. And I sent before you Moshe, Aaron, and Miriam. That's who he sent. And watch what it says. O my people, remember now what Balak king of Moab consulted, and what Balaam the son of Beor answered him from Shittim to Gilgal, that you may know the righteousness of Yahweh. If you want to know his righteousness, look what Yahweh did. Look what Yahweh did during that time. Look what he showed during that time. But he sent us Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. And why is that so important? Well, Moses, Aaron, and Miriam are Levites. They all are Levites. They all are prophets. These are all prophets. Aaron, Miriam, and Moses are prophets, whom Yahweh will rescue our ancestors from Egypt. And why did he use them? And what was so important? And why did Yahweh even choose a Levite to do this? See, these are all questions you should ask yourself and be prepared to answer them, because Yahweh do everything with a purpose. There's a purpose and a meaning behind these things. Because if you know this purpose, then who would Yahweh use today to deliver our people? Will he use another Levite? Will he use a Yehudite? Who will Yahweh use? Or will he use someone else? But what for certain, he definitely used Moshe. And his name was so great that he even called it the law of Moses. And can you understand the great honor it is for Yahweh's word to be called after your name? Have you considered this? So, to me, it would seem important for us to get to know this man, Moses, in order for us to get to know this law. Since it's called the law of Moses. In the book of Daniel, the 9th chapter, watch what Daniel said. We know how righteous Daniel was. Daniel was one of the 3 most righteous men in this book. And not just in this book, but on earth. And it says in Daniel, the 9th chapter, the 11th verse, yes, all Israel has transgressed your law, even by departing, that they might not obey your voice. This is a prayer of Daniel. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moshe, the servant of Elohim, because we have sinned against him. Yeah, he was the servant of Elohim. The law of Moshe. 12th verse. And he has confirmed his words, which he spoke against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven has not been done, as has been done upon Jerusalem. As it is written in the law of Moshe. All this evil has come upon us. Yet made we not our prayer before Yahweh Elohim, that we might turn from our iniquities and understand your truth. And when will we do this? When will we turn from our iniquities? When will we send our prayer before Yahweh, that we might understand his truth? And I can assure you, we're going to bring you this truth. The scripture says in the book of Psalms 119, verse 142, it lets you know the truth, or the law is the truth. Let us read that. Let me show you that so you won't think I'm just making something up. Psalms 119. And I want you to have the essence of this. Psalms 119. Watch what it says. In Psalms 119, verse 142. Your righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and your law is the truth. That's what his law is. It's the truth. and we need to learn the law. But how can we learn the law and we know nothing about the person who brought us the law? How can we know the law and we don't even know the one who spoke the law out of his mouth, gave us the law, spoke his words? We don't know him. And I want you to see him. I want you to know him. And I want you to know the one who brought us the law. Watch what it says. Also, another righteous ancestor of ours in the book of Nehemiah, the 8th chapter. Watch what he says. And we're talking about the book of the law. And we're going to be talking about this book all week long so that you can begin to prepare yourselves to study as you never studied before. Don't be tricked and bamboozled by those who think you just got to wait to the wilderness. They have no clue what the wilderness is all about. Because if they knew the law as we will bring to you, then they will know what all these books represents. They will know the meaning of these books as well as what Yahweh will say in these books, the book of the law. In the book of Nehemiah, the 8th chapter, the very first verse, and all the people gathered themselves together as one man into the street that was before the water gate. And they spoke to Ezra the scribe to bring the book of the law of Moshe. And why they keep going back to Moshe? Because Moshe was this very peculiar individual that Yahweh handpicked to bring us the law. And why? Because you're going to see he was like no other man. And not only he was not like any other man, but Yahweh wanted an instrument, a person, an individual that will represent his word. The word that he spoke out of his mouth. Because the words that he spoke out of his mouth was part of him, which represented him. So once you begin to learn the words, then you knew Yahweh. And the one that brought his word will also let you know his word and the one that he serves. Watch this. Again, Ezra. Nehemiah, the 8th chapter, the first verse. And all the people gathered themselves together as one man into the street that was before the water gate. And they spoke to Ezra the scribe to bring the book of the law of Moshe, which Yahweh had commanded to Israel. This is how great this man was. That Yahweh's word was named after him. The law of Moshe. And if you want to know how special this man really was, let me show you how different of a type of person he was. And you got to listen to this closely, because to know him is to know the word of Yahweh. And to know the word of Yahweh is to know Yahweh himself. And watch what the scriptures say about this man. We're going to first read you Deuteronomy, the 34th chapter. Show you what happened when this man died. And you will see this nowhere else. You will not read this nowhere else about a man when they died. In the book of Deuteronomy, the 34th chapter, the 5th verse. And watch what it says. So Moshe, the servant of Yahweh, died there in the land of Moab, according to the word of Yahweh. In other words, Yahweh said, look, it's time for you to die. And he died. And he buried him in a valley in the land of Moab, over against Beth Peor. Watch what it says. But no man knows of his scepter until this day. In other words, when they say no man, not his brothers, not his sisters, not his cousins, nieces, and nephews, not his children, not even Joshua. The one that buried Moses was Yahweh. And no man knows where this scepter is. They finding all kind of, digging up all kind of pharaohs, bodies that was embalmed thousands of years ago, burying them up, taking their jewelry and everything. But not so with Moses. Watch what it says. And Moshe was 120 years old when he died. His eye was not dim. In other words, I need glasses just to, I can read it without it, but this helps me to read it faster, quicker. But this man was 120 years old, and his eyes were not dim at all. Nor his natural force abated. In other words, the strength that he had in his hands, it never diminished. And the children of Israel wept for Moshe in the plains of Moab 30 days. So the days in weeping and mourning for Moshe were ended, because this is how our people mourn our leaders. Or for a month, 30 days. And Joshua the son of Nun was full of the spirit of wisdom, for Moshe had laid his hands upon him. And the children of Israel listened to him and did as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And once Moshe laid his hands, Moshe was blessing him, and Moshe was transferring his spirit of wisdom. That's why Joshua the son of Nun was full of the spirit of wisdom, because Moshe had laid his hands upon him. And watch the 10th verse. And there arose not a prophet since in Israel like unto Moshe, whom Yahweh knew face to face. There was no prophet, that is, not even Abraham, knew Yahweh like Moses. I repeat, there was no prophet that exists that knew Yahweh face to face as Moses. This is why it's so important to know this man if you want to know the words that he brought. And to know the words that he brought is to know Yahweh. And you want to know the essence of these words. And you're not going to know it if you don't know the one who brought them. Watch what it says, 11th verse. And all the signs and the wonders which Yahweh sent him to do in the land of Egypt to Pharaoh and to all the servants and to all his land, and in all that mighty hand and all the great terror which Moshe showed in the sight of all Israel. Yahweh gave this man the power of the Elohims. He himself became an Elohim. And because this man has so much power, Yahweh wouldn't even allow no man to even know where this man was buried. Yahweh himself buried this man. Not his sons, not his daughters, not the elders, the other Levites. No, Yahweh buried this man. Imagine, a man fell in the grave of the prophet Elisha. They put a dead man in the grave of prophet Elisha. The man jumped up and started running, came alive. Imagine what a man would do if they touched Moshe. The greatest prophet whom Yahweh would know face to face, who he spoke to face. No one liked this man. But what made him so special? That the word of Yahweh will be called after his name. What made him so special that Yahweh would choose him to even come up into the mount to receive his words? And what really does he represent? What is he that Yahweh would entrust his word with him? Well, if you want to know, watch this in the book of Numbers, the 12th chapter. And this is why you got to know this man. Because if you're not trying to represent Yahweh in this way, you're not trying to represent Yahweh. You don't even know Yahweh. Watch what this says. In the book of Numbers, the 12th chapter, the very first verse. And Miriam, Aaron spoke against Moshe because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married. For he married an Ethiopian woman. And they said, has Yahweh indeed spoken only by Moshe? Well, what kind of question is that? Our people tell me all the time, you think you know it all. They tell me, you can't be wrong. You just think you can't be wrong. I don't think none of those things, even though all those things are said to me. But here it is. They're challenging Moshe. Saying, has Yahweh only spoken by you, Moshe? Has he not spoken also by us? And Yahweh heard it. So just because you know something, that don't mean you're greater than the person who's teaching you. Moses told them. Just because Yahweh speak to you, that still don't put you on a level of someone else. That's what makes this man, this prophet, the greatest. Watch what it says about him. Third verse. Now the man Moshe was very meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. See, that's a sign to you. That's a sign. It says he was very meek. So meek, he was above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. This is how meek this man was. So how can you think that you can do Yahweh's law and not be meek? The only reason that this man was able to bring you the law because there was no one as meek as him. In other words, when you meek, you're not judging people. You're not downing people. You don't look down on people. You just bring in Yahweh's word as he did. He was meek above everyone. So this is the type of spirit Yahweh is looking for if you're going to try to handle his word in any kind of manner. But who want to be meek? No. You want to show how angry you can get. You want to show how vengeful you can get. You want to show how sad and haughty and prideful and arrogant you can be, but you don't want to show how meek you can be. And you can't be meek. It's not in you to be meek because you're not seeking to be meek. The scripture says the meek shall inherit the earth. Do you honestly believe that you are meek? In other words, Yahweh is looking for people like Moses. Why? Because he's given you his words, his laws. So you got to be a special type of person as he was. Watch what it says. And Yahweh spoke suddenly to Moshe and to Aaron and to Miriam. Come out, you three, to the tabernacle of the congregation. They three came out. And Yahweh came down in a pillar of a cloud, stood in the door of the tabernacle, called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. And watch what Yahweh says. People think the reason why Yahweh said this because he was a prophet. But Aaron was a prophet. Miriam was a prophet. You got to look a little bit closer. Watch what it says. And he said, hear now my words. If there is a prophet among you, I, Yahweh, will make myself known to him in a vision, and will speak to him in a dream. My servant Moshe is not so, who is faithful in all my house. So not only this man was the very meek above all the men that were on the face of the earth, but this man was also the most faithful man in Yahweh's house. And Yahweh got a big house. But watch what it says. And also I may add, all the prophets, I'm going to speak to you in a vision. I'm going to make myself known in a vision. And I'm going to speak to you in a dream. But not Moses. Why not Moses? Because he's faithful. So what do that mean? That means I can count on him. And I don't got to worry about him drawing pictures. I don't got to worry about him making a statue after me. I don't got to worry about him gossiping. I don't got to worry about him exalting himself. I seen Yahweh. See, he's not going to do none of the things that other people will do. He's faithful. So I don't got to worry about that. So I'm not going to come to him like I come to all the other prophets. And then it says, my servant, with him, a verse, will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, not in dark speeches. In other words, he won't be listening to no riddle. Yahweh going to talk straight up to him. And the likeness of Yahweh shall he behold. In other words, he's going to see Yahweh's image, Yahweh's likeness. Why then were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moshe? And today, our people ain't afraid of nothing. They ain't afraid to speak against Moses. They not afraid to speak against any of the prophets. So you can imagine if they thought anyone was a prophet today, they not going to show no fear to cuss that prophet out. Because if Moses was here today, that's exactly what they would do. Now, ask yourself, is that the spirit of one that is meek? Is that the spirit of one that is faithful? See, how can you read the law, study the law, but be haughty, arrogant, prideful? You must be doing something wrong in your studies. Because the very man who brought the law to us was nothing like that. And why? Because the law don't represent the arrogant. It don't represent the prideful, nor do it represent the haughty. The law is the truth. That represents the very one who had the charge of bringing us the law. And you see how special he was. He was very meek. He's faithful. And Yahweh spoke to him mouth to mouth. And not only did he speak to him mouth to mouth, even apparently, not in dark speeches, in the similitude, the likeness of Yahweh, this man seen. But watch what it says in the book of Exodus 33. And we're talking about the book of the law. But how can you understand the book of the law and you don't even know the one who brought the law and what he represented? He represented the law. And if he represented the law, then you might want to get to know him because he brought the law. And this is the type of man that Yahweh will entrust to stand before him. Watch what it says. The 11th verse. Exodus 33, verse 11. And it says, and Yahweh spoke to Moshe face to face. In other words, Moses didn't have to dream. He didn't come to him in a vision. All Moses had to do was call, and Yahweh was there. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe face to face, as a man speaks to his friend. That's how he dealt with this man. And why? Because he was faithful. Why? Because he was meek. Why? Was the law called after his name? Because he was that special. But you're supposed to be special too. Yahweh said, you are a peculiar people unto me. A holy people. And where do your holiness come from? Where do your peculiar nature come from? It comes from the word of Yahweh. And as he was special, so should you be. And Yahweh did not block you from being special. You're blocking yourself from being special because you really don't want to know the essence of this law. You would allow people to lead you to be less than what you can be. They will steal your soul and you will become nothing instead of peculiar. Furthermore, watch what it says in the book of Exodus 34. Talking about how special this man is. And I want you to see this. In the book of Exodus 34, the 27th verse. And Yahweh said to Moshe, write you these words, for after the tenor of these words I have made a covenant with you and with Israel. And he was there with Yahweh 40 days and 40 nights. He did neither eat bread nor drink water. And what you think we doing today? For 40 days and 40 nights, we're not drinking water, no drink at all. We're not eating no bread at all, no food at all. And why are we doing that? Because Moses did it. That's why. And we should be doing everything this man is doing that is good in the sight of Yahweh. Why are you doing this? Moses did it. If it was good in his eyes and special to him, and he was blessed for it, then why aren't you doing it? Watch what it says. And he was there with Yahweh 40 days and 40 nights. He did neither eat bread nor drink water. And he wrote upon the tables of the words of the covenant the 10 Commandments. And it came to pass, when Moshe came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 tables of testimony in Moshe's hand, when he came down from the mount, that Moshe knew not that the skin of his face shone while he talked with him. See, Moses didn't even know that his face was shining. As a matter of fact, Moses didn't even know how special he was. He began to learn it, but he didn't even know how special he was, because when he spoke, the people were so rebellious and stiff-necked, all they wanted to do was kill him, even though he was speaking the word of Yahweh, even though he was sitting before Yahweh, talking with Yahweh face to face as a man speaking unto his friend, the people still wanted to kill him. They still was disrespectful, haughty and arrogant to him, telling him things like, is you the only one Yahweh speak to? This is what his brother and sister did. So you can only imagine what the other people were doing. So why would a man think he's special? And his own people won't honor him. His own brother and sister won't honor him. Your wife won't honor you. Your kids won't honor you. These are the things that he had to endure. But you know what it didn't do? It didn't change him. He was still faithful. He was still meek, because he came to represent something greater than himself. And he did it. His face was shining like new money, like the sun. The 30th verse. And when Aaron and all the children of Israel saw Moshe, behold, the skin of his face shone. And it wasn't shining because he put some shea butter on, some cocoa butter on, some olive oil on. No, that's not why he was shining. He was shining because he was truly in the presence of Yahweh. And they were afraid to come near him. That's how much he was shining. This is how special, peculiar he was. And Moshe called to them, and Aaron and all the rulers of the congregation returned to him. And Moshe talked with them. And afterward, all the children of Israel came near. And he gave them in commandment all that Yahweh had spoken with him in Mount Sinai. And until Moshe had finished speaking with them, he put on a veil on his face because he didn't want to scare them no more. He didn't want them to be distracted by his face. He wanted them to be focused on his words. But when Moshe went in before Yahweh to speak with him, he took the veil off until he came out. And he came out and spoke to the children of Israel that which he was commanded. And the children of Israel saw the face of Moshe, that the skin of Moshe's face shone. And Moshe put the veil upon his face again until he went in to speak with him. So every time he went to speak to the people, he wore a veil. But when he spoke to the Most High, he took the veil off. Why? Because this is who represented the law. It's called the law of Moshe. It's called the book of the law. It's called the book of Yahweh. It's called the scriptures of truth. And in the book of Psalms 119, 142, the law is the truth. Matter of fact, it'll tell you the law is light. And if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. And if you listen to us this week, you're going to see a lot of light because we're going to show you the law. But we first had to show you the man who brought the law, how much light was in him, where he had to wear a veil over his face just to speak to the people. And why? Why did he have to wear this veil? Watch this in the book of Exodus 33. And let me share this story with you. In the book of Exodus 33, again, verse 11. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe face to face as a man speaks to his friend. And he turned again into the camp. But his servant Yehoshua, the son of Nun, a young man, departed not out of the tabernacle. And Moshe said unto Yahweh, see, you say to me, bring up this people, and you have not let me know whom you will send with me. Yet you have said, I know you by name, and you have also found grace in my sight. Now therefore I pray you, if I found grace in your sight, show me now your way. Show me your way, Yahweh. Now listen to these words so you will understand the book of the law. So you will understand the scripture of truth. So you will understand the law of Moshe, the book of Yahweh. So you can, most important, know Yahweh. Watch this. Look what Moses asking. Now, therefore, I pray you, if I found grace in your sight, show me now your way, that I may know you. I want to know you, Yah, and I want to know your way, and that I may find grace in your sight, and consider that this nation is your people. And he said, my presence shall go with you, and I will give you rest. And he said to him, if your presence goes not with me, carry us not up away. For therein shall it be known here that I and your people have found grace in your sight. Is it not in that you go with us? So shall we be separated, I and your people, from all the people that are upon the face of the earth. And Yahweh said to Moshe, I will do this thing also that you have spoken. For you have found grace in my sight, and I know you by name. And he said, I beseech you, show me your glory. That's what he said. Show me your glory. Show me your glory. And watch this. I want you to see this. I want you to see the way of Yahweh. I want you to know Yahweh. See, what you seen on Moses' face was Yahweh's glory. And little do people know, they don't know the way of Yahweh, nor do they know Yahweh. And I want you to see Yahweh. Something that Yahweh only and exclusively did for Moses. He showed his glory. But when he showed his glory, let me show you what he actually let Moses know. Give me 1 second and I'm going to grab this. Here we are. It's in the book of Exodus 34. Now watch this. The 5th verse. And Yahweh descended in the cloud, stood with him there, and proclaimed the name of Yahweh. And watch this. Yahweh proclaimed 7 different things. And these 7 things is who Yahweh is. These 7 things are the way of Yahweh. And not only are they the way of Yahweh, this is the only way you can know Yahweh. And this is why Moses was so special, so peculiar to Yahweh. Watch what it says in the 6th verse. And Yahweh passed by before him and proclaimed. And you won't see Yahweh proclaiming nothing but these things, because these things are all about him. Number 1, the first thing he proclaimed is his own name, Yahweh. The second thing he proclaimed is his power, Yahweh Elohim. The third thing, merciful. 4, and gracious. 5, long-suffering. 6, abundant in goodness. And number 7, and truth. This is who Yahweh is. If you studying Yahweh's law, if you trying to understand Yahweh and know his way, in which he proclaimed to Moshe, and that's what Moshe asked him, let me know your way, that I might know you. And Yahweh proclaimed his way. I'm Yahweh, Yahweh Elohim, merciful and gracious, long-suffering, abundant in goodness and truth. That's my way. That's how you know me. And that's how you know the word of Yahweh. And if you don't represent this power, this Yahweh, if you don't represent being merciful and gracious and long-suffering, goodness and truth, you don't represent this word, you don't represent Yahweh, nor do you represent the servant who brought his word. And what was that? The law of Moshe. This is what you got to understand before you even can understand his law, his truth. Because the law is the truth. This is what we're going to be dealing with all week long, and I can assure you, we will bring to you things that you didn't know. This is the proclamation of Yahweh himself. So until tomorrow, Yahweh loves you, and so do I. Shalom.
Only through you, yeah. I will wait to see another day, and only through you, yeah. I will kneel on my knees to pray, and only through you, yeah. I will receive a blessing, only through you, yeah. I will praise your holy name. Praise your holy name. Praise your holy name. Praise your holy name. I can see the many blessings you've bestowed on me. On me, on me. I can see the everlasting light that you have shined on me. Shine on me. So righteous and true. You are so heavenly. You are the King of my heart, and I love you all so much, Almighty. Only through you, yeah. I will wait to see another day, and only through you, yeah. I will kneel on my knees to pray. I will receive a blessing, only through you, yeah. I will praise your holy name. Praise your holy name. Praise your holy name. Praise your holy name. I can see the many blessings you've bestowed on me. On me, on me. And I can see that my life has truly changed. Changed for the better. And not for the worse. You are truly an artist. You've created this whole universe. And I know I will wait to see another day, and only through you, yeah. I will kneel on my knees to pray.